Fundamental rights are enshrined in Part 3 of the Indian Constitution, Articles 12 to 35, and are considered essential for the overall development of individuals and the democratic functioning of the nation. These rights are derived from the American Bill of Rights and aim to ensure equality, freedom, and justice for all citizens. They act as a safeguard against arbitrary state action and provide a framework for governance based on democratic principles. Characteristics of fundamental rights. Guaranteed by the Constitution, these rights are enshrined in the Constitution, making them legally enforceable. Justiciable, citizens can move the Supreme Court or High Courts for enforcement of these rights under Article 32 and 226, respectively. Available to citizens and non-citizens, some rights are available only to citizens, while others extend to foreigners as well. Subject to reasonable restrictions, the state can impose reasonable restrictions on these rights in the interest of national security, morality, and public order. Not absolute, these rights can be curtailed or suspended during an emergency, except Articles 20 and 21. List of fundamental rights. The Indian Constitution originally provided 7 fundamental rights. However, the right to property, Article 31, was removed in 1978 through the 44th Amendment Act. The remaining 6 fundamental rights are: right to equality, Articles 14 to 18. Right to freedom, Articles 19 to 22. Right against exploitation, Articles 23 to 24. Right to freedom of religion, Articles 25 to 28. Cultural and educational rights, Articles 29 to 30. Right to constitutional remedies, Article 32. 1. Right to equality, Articles 14 to 18. The right to equality ensures equal treatment of individuals before the law and prohibits discrimination based on religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Article 14, Equality before law, ensures that all individuals are treated equally before the law. Prohibits arbitrary discrimination. Inspired by the concept of the rule of law from British jurisprudence. Article 15, Prohibition of discrimination. The state cannot discriminate against any citizen based on religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Special provisions for women, children, and socially disadvantaged sections, SCs, STs, and OBCs, are allowed. Article 16, Equality of opportunity in public employment. Guarantees equal opportunity in government jobs. Allows reservation for backward classes to promote social justice. Article 17, Abolition of untouchability. Prohibits untouchability in any form. Offenders can be punished under the Protection of Civil Rights Act, 1955. Article 18, Abolition of titles. Prohibits the state from conferring titles, except military and academic distinctions. Titles like Raja and Maharaja were abolished. 2. Right to freedom, Articles 19 to 22. The right to freedom provides various liberties necessary for individual development and democracy. Article 19, Protection of 6 freedoms. Freedom of speech and expression. Freedom to assemble peacefully. Freedom to form associations or unions. Freedom to move freely within India. Freedom to reside and settle anywhere in India. Freedom to practice any profession or business. These freedoms are subject to reasonable restrictions. Article 20, Protection in respect of conviction for offenses. Prohibits retrospective criminal laws. Prohibits double jeopardy, punishment for the same offense twice. Protects against self-incrimination. Article 21, Right to life and personal liberty. Ensures the right to live with dignity. Includes the right to privacy, a clean environment, and livelihood. Expanded through judicial interpretations, e.g., right to education, right to food. Article 22, Protection against arrest and detention. Prevents arbitrary arrest and detention. Provides legal rights to detainees.
3. Right against exploitation, Articles 23-24. This right prohibits human trafficking, forced labor, and child labor. Article 23. Prohibition of human trafficking and forced labor prevents human trafficking, beggary, and forced labor, enforced through laws like the Bonded Labor System, Abolition, Act 1976. Article 24. Prohibition of child labor prohibits child labor in hazardous industries, enforced through the Child Labor, Prohibition and Regulation, Act 1986.
4. Right to freedom of religion, Articles 25 to 28. These rights ensure religious freedom and secularism in India. Article 25, Freedom of conscience and religion. Individuals can freely profess, practice, and propagate any religion, subject to public order, morality, and health. Article 26, Freedom to manage religious affairs. Religious denominations can establish and manage religious institutions. Article 27, Freedom from taxation for religious purposes. The state cannot tax individuals for promoting or maintaining any religion. Article 28, Freedom from religious instruction in educational institutions. Prohibits religious education in state-funded institutions. 5. Cultural and educational rights, Articles 29 to 30. These rights protect the interests of minority communities. Article 29, Protection of language, culture, and script. Protects cultural rights of minorities. Article 30, Right of minorities to establish educational institutions. Minorities can establish and administer their own educational institutions. 6. Right to constitutional remedies, Article 32. This right allows citizens to approach the Supreme Court or high courts for enforcement of fundamental rights. Article 32, Right to move the Supreme Court. Known as the heart and soul of the Constitution, as described by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Provides the power to issue writs. Habeas corpus, to release an illegally detained person. Mandamus, to compel public officials to perform their duty. Prohibition, to prevent a lower court from exceeding its jurisdiction. Certiorari, to transfer a case from a lower court to a higher court. Quo warranto, to question an individual's authority to hold a public office. Conclusion. Fundamental rights form the cornerstone of India's democratic system. They ensure equality, freedom, and justice, protecting citizens from arbitrary state actions. However, they are not absolute and can be restricted under reasonable conditions. Understanding these rights is crucial for every citizen to safeguard their freedoms and contribute to the nation's progress. These rights have evolved through judicial interpretations and amendments, making them more comprehensive and inclusive. As India progresses, the importance of fundamental rights remains paramount in upholding democratic values and ensuring social justice for all.